Um, so this is my NXT review of the 9th July 2025 edition. This was the go home edition for both Great American Bash and Evolution. Though we didn't get any explanation about why is Zaruka in the match, because Tatum and Izzy won last week, but this was a decent show. My favorite match was surprisingly the Culling versus Hank and Tank match. Like that match was very great. And is the guy that Izzy Dame hit with the chair, is he just out now? Because for what I heard, I think like the Dark State were talking about going after the tag title. So I thought that maybe after the match they come in and they attack them, and that way they can set up a triple threat tag team, or maybe between the match. But that's not happening. I thought more stuff will get added to the Great American Bash show, but they have not added more stuff. Like they have just had it remain the same. I think the show would have benefited. Only the match that they have added is Jasper Troy versus Javon Evans, and you got that. Like, what's this, the way that Jasper Troy attacks is kind of funny, because it kind of looks like he's giving you a running hug, because he does he doesn't do the clothesline from the side, he brings his arms upwards, so it's very funny. Though I like the whole show, like you had, first Jevon attacking him, then attacking him again in the medical room, then Jevon attacking him in the ring. I do think the way that they're setting up Jasper Troy, I do think whenever Obafemi loses the title, it's gonna be to him. And I do think probably Ethan Page, whenever he's gonna lose his North American, I think Ethan Page is gonna lose to Ricky Saints, because the Ricky Saints won the gauntlet. It was a fine match, and he chose a falls count anywhere. I thought that this should have been like a ladder match, because I was like, maybe the card needed something more exciting, also a more exciting match time. But even a falls count anywhere is fine. And I do think Ethan Page is losing, and I can probably see him then making his debut on Saturday Night's Main Event, which many people on the net were saying maybe helping Seth to beat LA Knight. I can see that happening as well. I do think Ricky Saints is winning. I do hope the way that they have been going with the family breakup, that they set up these guys in the mid card as single stars, because the men's division needs more people, and you cannot just put them up in the NXT championship things. Like, okay, like you did a battle royal, Miles won, now you put him in a big position, he got a good response, he got a good match, and now you're steadily building him up like you did. You got him a win over Lexus King last week. You're doing it with Yoshiki Inamura also, but I think Yoshiki Inamura is more like you have a show, you don't really have a person to face Oba, so you're like, it will help our partnership also. I like, probably this will be the main event of the show. I don't think the women's tag match is main eventing the show. I think probably this is Oba and Yoshiki are main eventing. Like, you had a video package where all like these Noah legends, like all the great Muta and everyone, like all of them are encouraging him to win the championship, and like finally, like, you got this, because otherwise, since like the last match that Marufuji had against the WWE, so we haven't really got any, like, videos or anything, like, since Tavon Heights came back from the tournament that they have. And I'm glad. I thought that this partnership was dead, but I'm glad it's still going on. And someone said on Twitter also that now Muchi guy, who's like their champion, their world champion, right? Like, he had a chance to push Yoshiki Inamura, he just didn't. So he came back to WWE again, and now that he has made WWE contacts, he's acting like he has been there for him always. I do hope now, because I think Yoshiki is going away. Like, this will be his last match in NXT, because what more can you do with him? And I do think that they're setting up things with Josh Briggs. Like, you saw that with the segment. Like, Josh Briggs was kind of like heavy. Like he was kind of like that was what they were showing, because Josh Briggs took the mic from Inamura and was like, I will do everything to ensure that Inamura wins, and I do think that's the way the finish is going to go. Like Inamura may actually have a real chance of winning, but because of Josh Briggs trying to make him win, it costs him the match. And I this was a fine segment, though I liked the last week's segment more. Though I always love Yoshiki's energy, like he has a natural babyface energy about him. And I do think this is probably setting up an Oba and Josh Briggs feud, and they have always like looked upon Josh Briggs as something that they want to develop, and I do think that's what's probably going to happen with Oba going forward. Apart from that, in the Hank and Tack match, the Zaruka came and took away, it's like beat up Izzy Dame and took away Tatum Paxi, like Zarya just carried her on her back. You had the Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace's like vignettes happening. And I am like really cross one thing. Like some people were saying like Blake Monroe is not getting much attention on NXT. The week she debuted, she was in the main event. When she came back in the main event segment. And now she is having vignettes with the person who is challenging for the NXT Women's Championship at Evolution. What more do you want? And they were all like Blake Monroe essentially trying to have an off day with Jordan Grace, because Jordan Grace is like the whole like grumpy like muscle mommy. Like you had muscle mommy chance when Jordan Grace came out, and you just had Blake going around like having a massage, then trying out like Jordan like ripping off like the massage like towel and everything. And that's the way that they were doing. Like she also called her like a muscle muffin. The thing is, this is not going to last too long. This is why when people say that Shawn Michaels should book women on the main roster, do you know how quickly things change in Shawn Michaels NXT? Like things do not last. Like things can change in like this in Shawn Michaels NXT. And you had Kalani versus Laney Reed, which was a fine match. It got set up due to a backstage segment and all that. You should take care of Thea, but Laney was like blah blah blah. In the end, Kalani won cleanly. I thought that they would want to protect Laney because she lost her first match, and then maybe like she's a new prospect. But no, Kalani straight up beat her, and then Thea Hall chased her after the match. In the main event, you had Ava announcing the six people that are going to be in the women's battle royal from NXT. Was that Izzy Dame, Tatum Paxley, Jada Parker? Who else was there? Jada Parker, Lola Weiss, two more. I had Kalani Jordan, and I don't know the last name. But these were the people that are going to be there, and then you had all of them come out. One thing is that Stephanie got a grand entrance because like she was announced, she came back, she got a huge hit. But then Julia also was one of the random people because Jada showed up and she was like, we are here also and everything. And then Julia was just behind them. I didn't even notice Julia. Like I noticed Julia when I saw tweets on Twitter where people were saying, "Oh, see, Julia is there, Julia is there." I was like, "Julia is there," and that's a shame because I do think what's probably gonna happen is on Friday, Aleister Black versus Priest is gonna get added to the Saturday night's main event, and Julia is gonna be in the women's battle royal, which is a shame. Like it's weird because she is the only like main roster champion not defending a championship on Evolution, which shows where they see the United States Championship. Like they could have had a rematch with her and Zelina there, and you don't need it to be long. Like it could be 5 minutes and it's fine. You just like you had Zelina and Chelsea for what reason? Like you had them on the Saturday night's main event, you added them last minute because you were like, oh, we don't have any women, so we add that match. You can add that in Evolution too. Apart from that, the show was broadly fine. Like nothing major happened, but everything made sense. And you like Mike Santana and Joe Henry beat High Rise, and then after the match, West and Trick everyone attacked them, and you can say as a feud, the TNA Championship feud has actual storylines and people like it has more like like a much more drawn out story. Like they're much more like, oh, this is a feud, rather than the NXT Championship. But overall, a fine show. I would give it a 3 out of 5. What did you think about this show? Tell me in the comment section. If you like this type of content, like this video, share and subscribe. If you don't, then share it with those who do. My social media accounts, which are my Twitter/X account and my Instagram account, links are in the description. So go follow me on that. My UPI ID link, which is Shapo, there OKICICI, is in the description also. So go donate any amount of money which you can, which can help you make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for today. So thank you, goodbye, alvida.